So it is possible that life is just a video game? Hmm, interesting question. It is possible that you, as a human being, are just a player in this giant video game that we call life. It is that possible? It is possible that not only you are a player, but you are the main player of reality. Hmm. Not only an extra, not only one of those weird random people walking in Grand Theft Auto that you can, you know, murder and fight with. No, I'm talking about maybe you are Mario. Maybe you are Link of Zelda. Maybe you are, or may you be Dante of Devil May Cry, or um, I don't know what other game. What other game? It is possible that every problem in your life is just another mission of the video game, another game like obstacle that you need to face and conquer. It is possible that every evolution that you go through in life is just like a power up, like you reach a new level, new skills.
Uh, Sorry, guys, my microphone got disconnected. I don't know why my microphone is always doing this.
All right, we are back. So it is possible that you are basically powering up in life, gathering new skills, new virtues, new weapons, intellectual weapons, emotional weapons, spiritual weapons, communicational weapons to win the game of life. It is possible that your boss is not only your boss, but the boss of the video game, the final monster. It is that possible or not? Well, I don't know. These are just like playful questions and, yeah, kind of valid analogies and comparisons between life and a video game. But at the end of the day, they are just silly. They don't require a lot of imagination, analysis to really compare yourself with a player, life with a game, obstacles as missions in a game. You don't need to be really intelligent to do this. But that makes reality a game? What do you think? Well, that is what we are going to explore today. Because folks, let me tell you something that maybe no other human being slash player in this video game has told you before. And that is that, yeah, probably, yes, probably, yes, probably, we are all living in a giant, dynamic, miraculous video game. And I will explain you why and how you will win. Let's go, D. Welcome to the Mastermind Podcast Challenge, episode 504, with your host slash video game player, Dr. Derek Israel. And yes, if you saw that intro, that was inspired by this idea that I will share with you today. So, this idea that I will share with you today, this analysis, I have been working with this for a couple of years now. And when I was talking with my wife slash um, digital designer, or how do you call them? Graphic designer, whatever. She designs everything for me. And when I was discussing with her the rebrand of our podcast, I was telling her, yes, but I want it to be like a video game. And she was like, why? And I was like, because life is a video game. And she was like, okay. And then we worked and we designed with my ideas, but with her art skills, we designed that, you know, control that you saw there, that is the M, and all the intro as an arcade video game. Because Mastermind podcast, this podcast is basically a reflection of life. And life is basically a reflection of a game. So I said, why then I don't put everything in the brand as a video game? So that's the explanation behind that intro. So let's go right into the subject. But before, let me tell you that we are gathering in a Telegram group. It's exclusive, private, and free group for the people that are enjoying and practicing the personal development challenges that we are doing in this podcast. So, if you want to join with people that are very conscious like you and that are striving for better, and you want that support, that connection, join us. The link is in the description, totally for free. All right. So, okay, let's go right into it. And the reason, okay, so how can I start with this subject? It's difficult. So, what I did in the intro of this podcast by comparing life to a video game, as maybe you are a player, maybe um, life problems are missions, maybe your boss is the boss. Those are silly comparisons in the sense that they do not require deep insight into life metaphysics in order to notice them and to create them and to share them. So we can do that with almost everything in life. We can compare life almost with everything, as I did in video game, at least superficially. So we can do that, for example, with a movie. We can say life is a movie, and maybe you are the primary actor or the protagonist, and maybe the drama of the movie is the drama of your life. And we can do that also with music. We can do that also with a book, with literature, or with a paint. We can do that with a lot of art forms, and that do not require a lot of deep introspection. So what I will do is really, in this podcast, is to really explore if life can be a video game, but not with silly explanations like the ones that I shared with you in the intro, but with real metaphysical, profound notions of reality by combining deep economics, deep spirituality, deep psychology, deep capitalism, deep art, deep game design, and all those structures coming together to basically create a model of understanding, a philosophy of understanding, a systems of belief that can help us navigate better the game or life. So at the end of the day, yes, this will be another philosophy. At the end of the day, yes, this is not the absolute truth. This is just the construction of very likely ideas that by putting them together as a system give us a new kind of meaning that will help you to strive and to succeed in your life. And one of the first things that we should understand is that every system in reality, and you can do your own research and explore this in your own phenomenology, in your own subjective experience, and also in system theory and quantum mechanics and cosmic sciences, and maybe psychology also, like deep psychology, not the superficial cognitive behavioral therapy, no, deep psychology. You can verify this information, but all systems are self similar. And what that means is that all systems create other systems based on their inner code. So if life creates video games, if you think that like that, well, that may suggest that a video game has the code, the internal code of life. So it is destined to become alive, very similar, very similar as a seed is destined to become a tree, although it is not yet a tree. But the tree and its seed is ourself similar, ourself similar. We have a tree inside a seed, but we cannot see the tree yet. But with time and development and dynamics, that seed becomes a tree. A video game becomes a life, a real life. But we can also um, think it in the opposite way. If life is really a video game, well, this video game will create a life that ultimately will come back to a video game, right? So we can look from both perspectives. What is life? Life is life, or life is a video game. But either way, the fact that video games exist and are so immersive and are so important for culture suggests that maybe they are fundamentally, not conceptually, not commercially, not superficially, not socially, no um, psychologically, no in those superficial dimensions or more like specific dimensions of existence, but in the core of existence, maybe they are the same. And that's what we are going to explore. And how we are going to explore this? Well, let's do it this way. I have developed and noticed and created 5 indicators that suggest that life is a video game. And remember, I'm not referring a video game like a video game, because when you study what is a video game, it's just a technology, right? That use an interface, a console maybe, and That console projects an image in a TV or in a mobile phone, and you can move that image with an analog controller, and with your signals you get feedback in the TV or in your screen. And basically all the dynamics that happen within that process, we call it a video game. The story that happens, the fights, the fun, everything else, that is just part of the package. But in a core, a video game is just that. But life is not that, you know, it's more complex than that. But I didn't want to put in the title life is a game, because it didn't bring the idea that I want to transmit. So a video game is a better metaphor for life. Although I'm not saying that we are living in a video, or I am not saying that reality is made of pixels as your screen is, you know. So take the idea of the video game not literally like an Xbox or a PlayStation or a whatever other console do you have, or a timeout console, like, kind of. No, this is just the essence of the video game that I want to explore. What is the essence of a video game? What is the essence of a game? What is the essence of life? And move forward with these notions. All right, so I have found 5 indicators that suggest that life is a video game, and let's explore each one of them to see if I can convince you to explore this subject further and to actualize this truth further in your life, to see what can you do with this new perspective in your life. So, the first indicator that life is uh, a video game is that metaphysically life is a game. So this is the first idea, and the first and the most fundamental perception or conception for this whole philosophical building to work. The fact that we perceive games are, games as video games as fun and not serious, and life as the serious thing, is just wrong. Life is not the serious thing. That is just a paradigm from culture that insists in create seriousness in life, although metaphysically, in the core of life, it is not serious at all. Now, why you think that culture, aka governments, wants to create seriousness in life? Why they will want to make everything so formal, everything so out of the funness of life, of the playfulness of life? Why do you think that? Well, a couple of things. First, because obviously this drive economic behavior that is very hierarchic, it's like a hierarchy, and they can benefit from this seriousness with economic means. Because if life is so serious, well, then you need to work and you need to pay your taxes and you need to pay this and pay that. And everything is so serious that if you don't do it, if you don't pay, you will go to jail, because it's very serious. You need to give this self-invented coin that we invented, right? But that is also very serious. And you need to work your ass off to pay this coin to us, and then we pay you back. And this process is very serious, right? And if you don't do it, you are going to jail, and that is also a very serious business. Jail is not children playing, jail or prison is very serious, right? That is the discourse of society. And also, society needs to create seriousness because it wants to prevent hostility in the citizens. And that makes sense. If you don't have any rules, if you don't have any laws, if you don't have, AKA, any seriousness into the structure of reality and the structure of society, well, we will maybe have a chaotic world as we used to have back in the day when we were tribes and inter-social rules didn't apply. Like, yes, intersocial rules apply, but only within the tribe, but not within tribe or intertribal. So a lot of violence were made those days, a lot of rape, a lot of kidnapping, a lot of harsh conditions to live. So that's why another aspect that I consider very valid for society to create a sense of seriousness into this human social machine that we call society, right? But the fact that culture slash government slash media slash history and all that history do to brainwash the readers and brainwash society, because every media, every history book has his own agenda. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is just how human beings work. I am doing this podcast and I have my own agenda. No human art is completely egoless. So this is not something like, oh my gosh, they are so evil. No, they are just humans. They are just players like you. I am not demonizing them. I'm just pointing out a reality or a potential reality. You don't need to believe me, but just do your own research, explore by yourself, and gather your own conclusions. So they create this sense of seriousness, and we live here. And now we create these video games, and we say, yes, that is fun. Playing Grand Theft Auto, that is fun. But going to my work, nah, that is just real life. That is not fun. Notice this, how your mind compares the two worlds. Oh yeah, um, maybe playing Pac-Man is very fun, but playing your taxes, it is not. Maybe playing Fortnite is very fun, but going to a university and passing your exams, that is not, right? And that is totally wrong because, yes, video games are a lot of fun. I love video games. I used to be a gamer for a, for a long time in my life when I was a kid and an adolescent. And I still play a little bit mobile games, just, for self care. And self care is basically the new term for distraction. But then I will do an episode on that. Um, but yeah, I still play. But here's the thing, I don't only play, I also do a lot of metaphysics, and that means a lot of work inspired to become enlightened or enlightened. And by doing this kind of work, aka meditation, aka yoga, aka pranayamas, aka deep studying of, um just give me a break, deep study of metaphysics and religion. So by doing this, I have been gathering a lot of information on what is life in a fundamental level. And what I have discovered, and not only me, this is something that a lot of mystics, prophets, gurus have been telling us for the whole history of the humankind. This is not an idea that I invented. This is not something that I am so great that I discovered by myself only. No, this is a well known idea that if you go and you meditate for 10 years without stopping, stopping, but consistently in your habit, and you really explore metaphysics beyond physics, you will you will realize this truth by yourself, and that is that life in his core, in the core or of life, in the base of life, life is just a game, and we are here to play, and not a video game. Notice, video game demands video. I'm not saying that we are in a video. I'm just saying that we are in a game like structure human existence, exactly as we have game like structures as video games. And you can confirm that by just understanding that a lot of religions always establish the divine child archetype as primordial in the core of the mystical system. And the divine child as an archetype is basically the dynamics of play in psychological and spiritual existences. God is a lot of times represented as a boy, as a child, or as a girl, but as a child, because what children do, they play. Why they play? Because they are not so socially conditioned to work yet. Most of them. I saw a couple of 3 years old in India working their ass off, and that broke my heart. They were selling, they were working, not playing, working. And I am just talking for most children that do not work at 3 year, at 3 years of age, but most children, they just play because they are just dancing with the structure of reality. They are so connected with nature that they just play because life is just a game. I am always sometimes I am with my daughter all day. For example, right now she's sick, and I will be, after this podcast, spending my whole day with her. But obviously, I'm an entrepreneur, so I need to work. And sometimes what I do is, I have some activities with her in my house, in my apartment, and then I give her a break and I say to her, "Hey, go and do a individual activity, maybe watch cartoons or maybe read a book or maybe whatever, and she go and play by herself." And then I go and I do the serious stuff, right? I open my laptop and I start writing my books or writing my next podcast, or not writing it, but designing the podcast, or doing, or maybe doing a coaching session with a client. Serious stuff, right? Serious stuff. But then I see my girl playing and laughing, and I'm saying, what a fool I am. Why I think this is serious, and why I think that what my baby girl is doing is not. Who is laughing right now? So I'm there, serious, very serious, working on my next YouTube video, editing the video. I am there, very serious. And my baby is just playing with her imagination, laughing her ass off. Who is right? Who is wiser in this scenario? Me, as the conditioned man, as a brainwashed man that is trying to live life instead of playing life, or my 3 years old daughter. Oh, wait, wow. Today is her birthday also. So yeah, she's my God, she have 3 years now. Or my 3 years old daughter. Who is wiser? I think that she is wiser. She's laughing, she's playing while I am so serious. So reality always has been described as an illusion by a lot of religions, as a drama, as a narrative, as an epic. And now that we are in a different modern society, we can describe it as a video game. It is not different. And always we have been comparing life with another thing that seems to be unreal, like, for example, uh, an epic or a story. We know that an epic or a story probably is not real, it's a story. But we compare life with it. Why? Because fundamentally, we all know that it's not different in the structure of reality. It is not different, it is a game. And we build moral systems in this game, and then we think that our moral system is truth. But that is not the problem of the game. That is a problem of us as players, that we are choosing to believe our morality, although we know is completely built. It is not objective. It is not universal. Every human being has his own code of morality, and beside this, we think that morality is reality, and we don't think that morality do not exist and that reality is just a game. How sad it is. How sad it is that mothers are telling their children, do not play video games, go to the real life. How sad that is. And I understand why mother will do it. Passing a lot of times in video games can cause serious damage to different aspects, although that is more demonized than it should be, because research is ambivalent in the real bad effects of video games. But anyway, we have this notion, this stereotype, and mothers always tell that to their sons. What I will tell my daughter if she's playing too much video games, hey, I will stop her also, because I don't want her brain to get fried, right? I will say, hey, stop playing so much video games and go and play the video game of your life. Conquer the video game of your life. Notice how different is that notion. I am telling her, your life is not different than the thing that you are playing, but you cannot be playing that all the time, because the game is more than just that game. That is like a sub game. Go and play the macro game, and then you can, balance. So yeah, that is some of the ideas with this first indicator, that life metaphysically is a game, and because systems tend to create self similarly, it is not a surprise that we created video games inside this game. Second indicator, we are changing currently our world economy to a in-game economy. This is my second indication and rationale for the idea that I am transmitting today. What the hell this means? Well, how well, how much have you studied crypto in your life? Let's start by this. How much have you studied blockchain or tokenomics in your life? Maybe 10%, maybe like a 20% of effort, maybe zero. All right. So I know that there's different degrees of understanding in this scenario. So I will put it as simple as I can, just for everyone to understand without having a lot of technical knowledge around the new economy that will be developing globally as a video game. So money always have been a game. We always has attribute money some value that may or not may have. Before money, we needed to literally interchange the real objects, the final objects, rice, for example, or rice for beans, or a dog for a cow. That was the market, that was the interchange. But then we realized that it was very bad. It was very bad to be carrying all the stuff that we wanted to share in the market with us because some things were so heavy. So we designed a system in which things can represent goods. And this is economy 101. So we created money to represent the cow. We created money to represent uh, the gold or whatever you want to represent. Money just a representation. Now money is, fiat money, your dollar. It's just a representation of how much power of acquisition do you have right now relative to the value of the dollar. So this is more complex and I will not go very in depth, but I think that you are understanding where I'm going right now. So although we have now fiat money as more kind of the standard for societies, although some countries are changing that. Like, for example, I think that El Salvador is changing that a lot with Bitcoin, and a lot of countries are starting to expand their philosophy and economics. But most countries use fiat money, like the dollar or the ruble or the euro, um, or to as the most important economical tool for their economy. But those tools are just representations. And before they were backed by gold, for example, before back in the day, the dollar was backed by gold. The United States only could print a certain amount of money that represent how much gold they had in their forts of gold, right? In their central bank. But that gold slash money relationship was broke a long time ago. And now we can print money without having anything backing it up. How that is serious? How that is serious? Because for example, a lot of people say, but crypto money, crypto assets, crypto coins, they are fake. They are so fake. You don't have you have nothing behind them. All right, but what you have behind the dollar, dude, beside a country that is imposing militarily his value? You have nothing. A dollar is just a representation of nothing out of air, literally. Like in COVID, for example, in the times of COVID, now we are finally getting out of this stage on the human consciousness that we call COVID-19. But at first, what the United States did in order to be able to sustain economically during the crisis of COVID, they printed out, I don't know how many, I think that was trillions, trillions of fiat money, of dollars, without anything to back it up. So maybe you say, all right, so why we don't print infinitely and now no one will be poor, right? If we can do it, if we don't need nothing, but that comes with another problem. Because then if everyone have $1 million in their pocket, well, this iPhone then should cost $1 million and a half, because no everyone will be able to have the iPhone. The iPhone needs, the Apple company needs to put a certain filter on their ideal customer, and they need to shoot for profit because that is what corporations do. So they will raise their prices, and we call that inflation. So when we print a lot of money, our money has less power of buying because we have more. So that is the problem with fiat money and conventional structure systems. So although they are very game like, they are fantasy like, we don't perceive them that way. We perceive them as serious. But crypto coins, although they are kind of the same, although every crypto have different functionalities, Ether, for example, you can do smart contracts with them, in Ethereum, and different coins have different functionalities, and that's why crypto is so innovative, because they are trying to establish functionalities as a structure for the economic paradigm, and that in a long term may be sustainable. But although we have those structures on place in crypto, we perceive crypto as the game like currency, not the real one. It's like a video game. It's like tokens of going in a timeout or in a store of video games, and you get out the tokens, and with that those tokens you can play. Well, we perceive crypto as tokens, but money or fiat money as the real one, and that is just not make any sense. They are both game like, but crypto is more game like because it is more edgy, it is more modern, and also is based on tokenomics. So what that means is that you will only be able to use certain tokens in certain places, in certain games, in certain metaverses. So right now this may not makes a lot of sense to you, but let's talk in 25 years and you will know. And I am saying just 25 years to be in the safer side, but I could easily say 5 or 10. For example, I was reading in 2 days ago that the current president, Joe Biden of the United States, he signed, he gave his signature for a new policy to research extensively the impact and the future of the crypto money in order to be more prepared and in order to, I think, to create an infrastructure for them in our world for real. So a lot of people may say, no, it is not for that. It is for banning them or it is for putting more taxes on them. And then that may be because that's what egos do. Egos only bring problems to innovations. So that may be the reason. But I am more optimistic. I am more bullish in this idea. So I think that maybe this is the start of the competition around crypto. As soon as one of these potencies like China, Russia, or United States, or maybe India, as soon as one of them start going all in on crypto assets and crypto coins as a major or fundamental economical structure, they will all do it. We just need one to start doing this. And the United States start by researching. They are not doing anything crazy yet because this is so revolutionary in the functionality, not in the concept. The concept is not revolutionary. Fiat money is also game-like money, but crypto is so revolutionary. Sometimes you don't see nothing. You don't see a coin even. At least with fiat money, you have a paper sometimes, right? You have a physical thing that you can say, all right, this is so serious. Look, we have a face of a human being that was legitimized as a president in there, very serious like this. So this may be serious, right? But with crypto, we don't have that. With crypto, we only have, a code, an encrypted code. So that is more abstract. So the fact that that a, that a so fundamental dimension of human reality as it is economics or economy is changing into a game-like structure suggests that the whole machinery of reality may be a game. Maybe a game. I don't know. You do your own research. You should develop your own conclusions. And definitely, if you haven't, go all in. I always tell you this, go all in studying crypto, NFTs, and blockchain. You should be studying those daily now, watching videos, hearing to podcasts about it, and reading books, reading blogs, participating in communities. I don't care what you need to learn because this is the future. This is the present and the future, right? And don't worry, I will be launching very soon in the next couple of weeks a new show that will cover a lot on this. All right. So you will have this support, but not only stay with me. I am just a one player. Go with other players. So the third indication that life may be a video game or that is turning little by little into a more game like structure is that the metaverse, which I believe is inevitable, I will repeat this. This indication is that the metaverse, which I believe is inevitable, will have a game like structure, meaning, and lifestyle in our life, and that will be just normal. And probably that will be our new life, completely our new life in 50 years. So, what is the metaverse? So, this is a very complex subject, and all that I will do in my next show, in my coming show, is talking about the metaverse and how we can profit economically with the metaverse and how to serve our clients. But also, I will be doing another project about the metaverse around the psychological and social implications of the metaverse. But, anyways, the metaverse is a technology that uses virtual reality, interoperationality, and through Web 3.0 blockchain technology to create this world in which we are going to live that is virtual, immersive, with his own economy, with his own tokenomics, economics based on tokens. And in that metaverse, we are going to be playing, we are going to be working, we are going to be falling in love, we are going to be having sex, we are going to be raising our families, we are going to be doing politics, governance, laws, everything that we have been doing in physical society for the last, I don't know how many years or centuries. We are going to recreate that, not replicate that, but recreate it, reimagine it. Because definitely we need to do it differently in the metaverse. And that will be probably our priority as a reality in the next 50 years. And with that, I mean that we're going to care more of our virtual reality that we are caring of our physical reality. And that virtual reality, when you think about it, is just a game. So in the metaverse, you will put your Googles and you will see a game like structure in front of your eyes, a world, a universe, a metaverse, different universes with different platforms creating this stuff for you. And not only platforms like Facebook, for example, that they already changed their name to Meta to build the metaverse, but pl- individual players like Derek Israel, like yourself, like everyone in the world will have the power if they have the imagination. And this is the idea. Maybe this not will be like this. I hope that it will be like this because it is supposed to be decentralized and open. And I will be talking about that in the fifth indicator. But in this hypothesis that it will be decentralized and it will be open for creators to create and to change structures in the metaverse, everyone with the imagination, with the sufficient imagination, will be able to create their own universe in the metaverse, a universe that is game like, not only in graphics, but in narrative, in story, in the structure of the universe, in the meaning of the universe, in the economics of the universe, in the politics of the universe, in the social dynamics of the universe, in the religious and spiritual aspect of the universe. Everything that we are doing in physical society, we are going to be doing it in the metaverse. In the metaverse. And also buying stuff. I forgot about it. Buying stuff, commercial dynamics, obviously, NFTs, private ownership, regulations, laws, punishments, everything will go to the metaverse. And in 50 years, you will care more for the status of your avatar in the metaverse than the status of yourself in the physical verse. So how this is not a video game? So we are, if we are already building a massive video game to live our entire life there. And you may say, oh, Derek, I will not live my entire life there. I love physical life. I love being with my dog. I love going to the forest. I love going to eat in the pizza place beside my house. But yes, that is you. That you are how old? 30 years old? 40 years old? 20, 50, 60? You are old. You are the law of the old. You are a cancer in society. We are all cancer in society. You know who is not a cancer in society yet? Toddlers, kids, and some adolescents. They are the only one that are our hope. If you are a young adult or an adult or an old man or woman, you're a cancer because you are thinking the way you're thinking. You are thinking in obsolete terms. But if I tell my daughter, she's 3 years old now, if I tell her, hey, Italia, we are going to be living in a metaverse that will be our life, and our life will be like a video game. What do you think? She will say, oh, okay. Sounds very cool. Obvious. It's like obvious, right? We are already doing kind of like that. Like you are always in your phone, daddy. You are always jumping from universe to universe, from platform to platform. You are creating content. Although you don't have a virtual reality yet, you have augmented reality. In Snapchat, you can put filters that jump in the physical reality. They simulate that they are jumping in the physical reality. So she's already seeing that. So for her and for her whole generation, it will be very normal. It's for you that is not normal because you was raised playing baseball with a real bat, and you was raised running naked in a wood. Maybe you was not raised like that, but you understand the point. You didn't have the enough technology back in the day in your times, so you are already contaminated with schemes of how reality will work. But those kids that are right now 2 years old, 1 years old, newborns, they are not infected, and they will know a world in which crypto are normal, the metaverse is normal, and the video game like structure is normal. What do you think they will think? And go further. What do you think their grandchildren will think in 2150, for example, in that year? Just normal, video game normal. Physical life, this will just be an alternative, not the default. That is my hypothesis. Um, the fourth indicator is that life may be statistically easily, or statistically possible, that life is just a simulation. And what is a video game? It's a simulation. When I was training in the United States for becoming an officer of the Army in the ROTC LTC leadership training program in Fort Knox, they put us in a virtual game. And this was like 10 years ago. 10 years? I had 19 years or 20. I had 20 years and I had 27, 7 years ago. So they put it in this virtual game that we were shooting the bad guys. And I knew that that was a simulation, right? But it was so effective. It was so real. And this was 7 years ago. How do you think the simulations will be in 300 years? Well, the simulations may be so real, so indistinct from reality, that we will not know what is reality and what is a simulation. And there's a very well supported hypothesis or theory that is called the simulation theory. And Elon Musk is one of the anchors or people that are pushing this philosophy into society with a lot of ferocity, because the rationale is how we can not how we cannot how can we guarantee that we are not already in a game? If we develop a technology with the graphics of our real life, how we can know that this is not then a game? If in this game we are already creating other games that are getting near and more near and more near and more near to a perfect simulation, how we know that we didn't did this before and we are already in a simulation? And how we know if this is just a cycle of creating more and more simulations, inside simulations forever in a self similar creative cycle of creation and destruction. Oh, this is so profound. I feel my heart is so profound. By the way, in that series that I was promoting here, Downloading the Mind, I download the mind of Elon Musk. Just search in YouTube, Derek Israel, Downloading the Mind of Elon Musk, and you will learn a lot of how this men think if you want more information. Um, but yeah, so I am not saying that the simulation theory is real. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. And I haven't studied profoundly as I would like and as I will do in the future that theory to say with definitiveness of opinion this is a simulation. I I cannot do that. What I can say is that it's likely that this may be a simulation. Again, it's not different of what the Hindus tell us with Maya, the illusion of life, or the Buddhists with the illusion of life, in which we should be awakening to the reality of life, to the mystical reality, to the play game like reality. Because nirvana, heaven, all of these things that we have created to as a place of spiritual purification and advancement, they are all game like also. Like I don't know exactly why Christians they establish their heaven as a so serious place. Like I imagine if I go to heaven, the Christian heaven, what I will be doing there? They didn't sell very good the heaven part. That is my opinion. The Christian paradigm, they didn't sell the heaven part too well. What we will do here, what we will be doing there. So some of them will say, we will be loving God. That's good. But is that fun? Well, it may be a little bit, but I mean, you will get bored of just loving, right? I believe that if a heaven exists, and I believe that the heaven is the present moment, I don't believe it's a place, I believe it's a state. But if a heaven exists as a place, I believe that it will be a game. It will not be a series at all. So we will be playing ping pong with Jesus, and we will be playing Guitar Hero with St. Peter, you know. So we are gonna be doing fun stuff. Loving God, definitely, yeah. Why not? We are gonna be infinite love. We are dead. We are not human anymore, right? So we are gonna be compassion, love, all of that. We're gonna be because we're gonna be one with the source, one with the energy, right? But we need to have fun. At least that is what my ego wants. So if the ego disappear, then we also will not have any seriousness because what we'll perceive as serious if we don't have any structure to perceive, if we don't have ego. So in the hypothetical situation that we preserve our ego slash our individual identity in death and in heaven, well, I guess that it must be fun because if not, we're gonna get bored. So the solution is to have no ego, and if we have no ego, when we don't have seriousness, also. Hmm. I told you, man, we were about to go deep here. We are not swimming in superficial waters here. We are going deep to the root of this metaphysics. And I hope that you are enjoying this, taking notes, determine yourself to do your own research, to gather your own conclusions. That is my hope for you. And the fifth and last point is that we are slowly going as a society, as a human race, we are slowly moving into a decentralized and open ended human society for better coexistence and governance. And I know that this is utopia, and I know that maybe I'm overly optimistic. I know, but I kind of think that this is true, although it may be very slow. So decentralized mean that no agency have total control. Power is distributed into the nodes of the network. Power is distributed to, in the sample of the human network, power is distributed to the people, not only to the governor or the president or the monarch. Like, and maybe you say, why are you saying that if Russia right now is attacking Ukraine and obviously they are very centralized in their power, they are not flexing, and China is the same, and United States sometimes is the same. Why you say that we are becoming more decentralized? At least in our mindset, at least the newer generations, Generation Z and Alpha generation, or post COVID generation, whatever will be the name. Some of millennials, I am a millennial. Sadly, I don't like to be a millennial. Anyways, I prefer to be a Gen Z, but I was born 1 year after. You know, I am a millennial for 1 year. So yes. Anyways, um, I will say that half of the millennial are changing their mindset. Half are more like Gen X type of thinkers. They are still more conservative. So, but the newer generations, they are decentralized a lot. Maybe not perfect. Maybe we are not moving to a perfect decentralized society, but a more decentralized society definitely is a possibility. And the fact that we are pushing Web 3.0, and if you don't know what is Web 3.0, you should be researching a lot of that. But basically, it's a decentralized kind of internet for all, in which Facebook do not hold your whole data, or YouTube do not hold all your earnings as a creator, or most of them. In a Web 3.0, we are supposed to live a more decentralized coexistence in the digital and virtual world. Also, all the metaverse and all the philosophy, most of them, and most philosophies in the NFT projects, and most philosophies on the DAOs, that is, decentralized autonomous organizations, are decentralized. So we are seeing new organizational structures that are called DAO. Okay, decentralized autonomous organizations. Please research that. We are seeing these organizational structures already accommodating themselves with these dynamics of social and power relationships. So now we are small, but in 100 years, decentralization may be the government organizations, the FBI, FEMA, or every organization that is trying to help society may be decentralized. Every country, every government, maybe in 1,000 years, maybe. So let's see. But the fact that we are moving in that direction, at least philosophically and in mindset, and not only in mindset, we are seeing some symptoms of it. For example, the cancel culture. That is something that I want to talk about in another episode. The cancel culture is the culture for the people to cancel shows on social media or influencers that made a mistake, for example, Joe Rogan with racist comments, or for example, uh, Carlos Munoz, Master Munoz, as a Mexican entrepreneur, that he made some comments that people didn't like, so they tried to cancel him. Like cancel culture is kind of a manifestation of decentralization. Like people, normal people, not creators, not famous people, not popular, not people with a lot of influential power, but with a lot of quantity power, because they are a lot. They are most of humanity, right? We have 99% of people that are just average people, and we have this 1% of the celebrities and the elites. So the cancel culture is the organization of these people that is in the bottom part of the hierarchy, and they get together and cancel one of the celebrities that have a lot of social power. And they cancel those celebrities mostly because they did something inappropriate, something that was not good. Sometimes cancel culture is a toxic thing on his own. Don't give me wrong, it can go very bad. But the fact that we are seeing people in society and in social media more democratic worldwide, in the sense that we are expressing our voice, we don't want you here, we want you out of social media, we want you out of social communications. And the fact that this cancel culture has succeeded before in canceling people, canceling influencers, canceling businessmen or women or businesses and brands that don't fit with this new age of decentralization and equity and game like structures. Well, this fact suggests that decentralization is not only a mindset, but it's also a organizational principle of action, a course of action for people. Interesting idea. So, anyways, let's finish here, because I know that I can continue go on with more indicators, but I think that I gave you a couple of them that you should be researching further by your own, and you will develop your own conclusions. So the whole idea and the challenge, the specific challenge, is that at the end of the day, life may be a video game. Why are you so serious with your life? Why you don't have more fun in your life? And why you attribute so much importance to certain things in your life? For example, to your work, to your government, to your father-in-law, to the race of your children. Now, this doesn't mean that you will get crazy now, and because Derek Israel said that everything is a video game, now I will get crazy and I will spit in the face of my boss and I will do a stripper in the middle of the highway because it's a video game. No, man, don't do that. Be smart about this idea. Become lethal with this idea. Elaborate it. Put it in your heart and put in place a plan, a big plan of your whole video game. What you want your life to be in this game. And now understand that you will be a creator possibly in the metaverse. So, and if you want to know how to become a creator now, definitely go and enroll in my course that is called how to be a top content creator. It's already on English, and it's coming very soon on Spanish. And in that course, I teach you exactly how to create content in social media and moving forward to the metaverse. So understand that you will be creating your metaverse, your universe, in a couple of years, maybe in 10, maybe in 5, maybe in 20, I don't know. But the technology will get here. And when it does, what you will do, what you will create, what amazing life you will create, what amazing experiences for other players you will create. That is the mind blowing idea. So start planning your life as okay, we are heading into a video game like structure in society. And I am an active player. Maybe I am the protagonist because you are the central eye of existence. You perceive existence centralized. Now, with spiritual wisdom, also come decentralization, and you can see existence as the whole. But for now, if you are not there, you are seeing existence through your ego. So use your ego to create a good structure in this egoless kind of video game society that we are going to live and transcend your own ego in the process and become you the game. The final realization is that life is not a game. You are the game. You are play in a verb, in action. You are play. We are playing. We are playing. So the final answer of the podcast of why life will turn into a video game is the following. Life will turn into a video game because it is already a video game, folks. But we are in a, like, remember the first video game I think was called Pong or something like that, like the sticks and the ball. Beep, 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 beep. We are in that stage of the video game. But look now, like literally the video games of now, they are like movies. And think about 100 years. They will be like life. No, 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 no. They will be life. Dude, they will be life because they are already life. Mind blow? If I blowed your mind, make sure to stay tuned to this podcast. I am coming here every Monday through Friday at 4 a.m. MST. Sometimes I get a little bit late, but mostly 4 a.m. MST through my YouTube channel, only Dr. Derek Israel. But then I distribute this podcast in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and every other audio based platforms for your benefit. So, yeah, start following this podcast. We are doing a challenge every Monday through Friday, one episode, one different idea, one different challenge, one different truth to actualize. And I am having a lot of fun. Remember our Telegram group, join. Also, remember that you can promote and collaborate with this podcast with just $5 a month, 5 tokens a month. So go to Patreon and become a supporter. Also, you will receive special benefits for supporting the Mastermind podcast. The link is on the description. And remember, my friend, and this will be the last thing that I will say. I hope that the narrative of your video game that you are living in your life is a narrative with meaning and with purpose. Because if not, you're wasting your time. This life, this game is so beautiful, it's so wonderful that it must be lived with a specific purpose and aim, because that is how we gather meaning in it. So you have your own purpose. And if you don't have it, you can build it. And I can teach you how to build your purpose step by step to then live a life with direction, and you will never feel lost again. You will never feel aimless again, like weak again. You will feel solid, firm, grounded in an idea that makes you so happy that you want to cry. So go to derekisrael.com. The link is in the description and enroll in my life purpose course that I will teach you in just a couple of days, in your time, in your space. Everything is for you there. You don't need to get anywhere. And you will connect, discover, and express definitely your life purpose in your life game. So go to the description and I see you in your life.